Ever looked at your pup doing zoomies in the park and thought, they're fast, but like, how W fast?
Yeah.
Well, today we're diving headfirst into the world of canine speedsters. We're going to uncover what makes some breeds true speed demons. And our roadmap for this deep dive, Woof Wag Nation's Speed Demons, the 10 fastest dog breeds in the world. And trust me, it's way more than just a list.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking anatomy, history, and maybe even a little daydreaming about, what it'd be like to experience that kind of speed firsthand.
Right.
So whether you're a dog enthusiast, a speed freak, or just love a good dose of mind-blowing animal facts, buckle up. This is going to be fun.
It is.
So to kick things off, let's talk top contenders.
Okay, right out of the gate, we've got the Greyhound, the undisputed king of canine speed.
Oh, yeah.
Clocking in at a jaw-dropping 45 miles per hour.
45 miles an hour. I mean, I know it's true, but it's still hard to wrap my head around. It's like, that's highway speeds on 4 legs.
Exactly.
What's even crazier is the article mentions they hit that speed in just C6 strides. My old car takes that long just to decide if it wants to start.
It's incredible, isn't it? And it's not just about raw power, though. Greyhounds are practically engineered for speed. Their flexible spines, for instance. Those are key. Imagine a cheetah, like stretching out mid-run. That flexibility translates into a longer stride. Incredible efficiency.
Makes sense. They're basically turning themselves into these long, lean, speed-making machines with every stride. So it's not just long legs, it's how they use them. What else are we looking at here?
Well, think about it. To reach those speeds, you need serious lung capacity. Greyhounds have these incredibly deep chests, gives their lungs plenty of room to, gulp in air. And then there's the foot structure. Many fast breeds, including Greyhounds, have something called a double suspension gallop.
Okay, gotta admit that name sounds like something out of a superhero comic.
It does, doesn't it? But it essentially means that during their stride, all 4 feet are off the ground twice. So they're literally flying through the air for a brief moment.
Okay, now that is something I'd love to see in slow motion. So we've got Greyhounds owning the top spot, but what about the runners-up? Who else is giving them a run for their money?
Coming in hot on the Greyhound's tail is the Saluki, top speed of 43 miles per hour. But here's where it gets interesting. The Saluki isn't just about bursts of speed, they're all about stamina. They've been clocked maintaining those speeds for almost a kilometer.
Seriously?
It's amazing. Imagine a dog built for marathons instead of sprints.
Now that you mention it, I have seen pictures of them, these super sleek, almost regal-looking dogs.
That's them. And their history is just as impressive as their speed. We're talking ancient Egypt, where Salukis were bred by royalty for hunting gazelles. They even appear in ancient Egyptian tombs.
Oh, talk about a pedigree. It's amazing how certain breeds, like the Saluki and Greyhound, seem to have this direct line to ancient history.
It really makes you realize that these incredible athletes aren't just products of, modern breeding programs. They're carrying on a legacy that stretches back thousands of years.
Okay, so we've got these elegant speedsters descended from royalty, but then our Speed Demons article throws a bit of a curveball. Our Speed Demons article lists the Jack Russell Terrier, those small but mighty bundles of energy, as one of the top 10 fastest dog breeds. And I gotta ask, is that a typo? Did someone accidentally swap out a Chihuahua for a cheetah?
You'd be surprised. Jack Russells might be small, but they were literally bred to be fast. We're talking about dogs who are expected to chase rabbits down into their burrows, talk about needing a burst of speed.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So we're not talking marathon runners here, but more like the sprinters of the dog world.
Exactly. They've been clocked at 38 miles per hour, which is nothing to sneeze at. Imagine that little blur of white and tan whizzing past you in the park.
I don't think I'd stand a chance. So we've got a good picture of what makes these dogs so fast. But let's talk about what it actually takes to live with one of these speed demons. Because I imagine it's more than just the occasional walk around the block.
You're definitely not just casually strolling with a Saluki on a Saturday morning. Remember, these dogs were bred to move, and I'm not talking about a leisurely sniff of every fire hydrant on the block.
So what are we talking about here? Daily trips to the dog track.
Well, maybe not the dog track, but you're definitely looking at a solid hour or more of dedicated exercise every single day. Long runs, intense games of fetch, maybe even some agility training if you're feeling ambitious. These dogs need an outlet for all that energy.
And I imagine a securely fenced yard is non-negotiable. Unless you want your Greyhound teaching the neighborhood kids a thing or two about speed.
Let's just say a flimsy fence won't cut it. And it's not just about running away either. That prey drive is strong, especially in sight hounds like Greyhounds and Seleucus. One minute they're snoozing on the couch, the next they've spotted a squirrel across the street and they're gone.
Yikes. I bet even Usain Bolt would struggle to keep up.
Oh,
So lots of exercises are a must-have, but what about their brains?
yeah.
I've always heard that a tired dog is a good dog, but these are some seriously intelligent breeds.
You're right, and Woof Nation really emphasizes the importance of mental stimulation for these dogs. Puzzle toys, interactive games, even just training sessions that feel more like play, anything that keeps their minds engaged and challenged.
I bet that's where the Jack Russells really shine. They always seem so full of personality and mischief.
Absolutely. They need that mental workout just as much as the physical one. A bored Jack Russell is a recipe for, well, let's just say you don't want to leave your slippers lying around unattended.
Noted. No unattended slippers. So exercise, check. Mental stimulation, check. What other surprises does Woof Nation have in store for us when it comes to caring for our canine speedsters? Okay, so we've covered exercise, mental stimulation. There's got to be more to keeping these athletes in tip-top shape, right? What about, like, diet? Grooming. Is there a secret speed-boosting kibble out there?
Well, I haven't come across any kibble that promises to turn your Labrador into a land rocket. But nutrition is definitely key. Woof Nation, they really stress the importance of working with your vet, finding a balanced diet, one that's tailored to your dog's breed and activity level.
That makes sense. A Greyhound pushing 45 miles an hour probably needs a different fuel source than my leisurely puggle.
Exactly. And it's not just about calories either. The article gets into some breed-specific needs that I found fascinating. For example, sight hounds, Greyhounds, Seleucus. With those super sleek physiques, they tend to have very thin skin and minimal body fat.
Really? I never would have guessed that. You'd think with all that running, they'd be bundled up in a layer of fur.
You'd think so, right? But that lack of insulation means they can get cold easily. Woof Nation actually recommends sweaters for colder climates, and they even suggest opting for extra soft bedding.
Oh.
Seems even speed demons appreciate a little comfort after a long run.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
So we've got specialized diets, cozy sweaters, anything else these speedsters need, pedicures, maybe a personal masseuse for those tired muscles.
A massage isn't a bad idea, actually. Woof Nation touches on the importance of joint health, especially for the larger breeds like Greyhounds. They can be prone to hip issues. They even suggest, looking into orthopedic beds and things like that. It's a good reminder that caring for these athletes goes beyond just keeping them entertained, making sure they get their zoomies out.
Yeah, it's like having a high-performance sports car. You got to make sure it's running smoothly for years to come. Well, we've covered a lot of ground here today, from the science behind their speed to, the unique joys and challenges of welcoming one into your life. It really makes you look at that blur of fur in the dog park a little differently, doesn't it?
It really does. These aren't just dogs. They're living examples of athleticism, a testament to thousands of years of breeding and, let's be honest, a little bit of evolutionary magic.
Beautifully put. And it makes you wonder, with their incredible speed already so finely tuned, what does the future hold for these breeds?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Will we see even faster dogs in the future? Or will the focus shift to maybe, enhancing other traits while maintaining that incredible speed? It's a fascinating thought.
It really is. And as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of canine speed demons, I think it's important to remember that these dogs, regardless of their placement on the speed charts, they're ultimately companions first and foremost. They rely on us for care, understanding, and maybe a securely fenced yard or two. So if you're considering opening your home and your heart to one of these incredible creatures, do your research, make sure you can handle the need for speed, and most importantly, be prepared for a lifetime of adventure. Because with a dog like that by your side, life is never going to be boring. That's it for this deep dive. A huge thanks to Woof Nation for providing the inspiration for today's episode. And to our listeners, if you want to learn more about these fascinating breeds, head over to their website for a treasure trove of canine information. Until next time, happy listening.